Hello, crochet friends. Welcome back to the WeCrochet Facebook page and YouTube channel. We're so excited to be back here again with you on a Wednesday. This time I do have a special guest joining us, so we have a lot to discuss and talk about and all kinds of new things. But while people start coming in, I thought we'd just chit-chat a little bit for a couple seconds here as people start to join us. So when you come, say hello, let us know you're here. Oh, my mom is here. I think she's purposely coming now just so I say, oh, my mom is here all the time. So yeah, she's here. Anyway, I want to remind you guys of a couple things going on before we jump in with our guest. The first one being, sorry, I put these a little too far away. We just brought in some new colors of our totes and zipper pouches and hook cases. You can shop all of these under the tools tab on our homepage, and you have 4 new colors to choose from. You've got this beautiful iridescent purple, you've got a beautiful pink, you've got a nice orange, and you've got like a blue-gray color, and they all have the taupe color on the bottom, a gold zipper, and a little tab here that you could hook it onto. And so these colors come in the zipper totes, in the tote bags, in the hook cases, and in the chart keeper. So if you were looking to get one, you need a new one, or you just didn't like the colors we had before, check out this different sophisticated palette of more like muted colors here, perfect for fall and everything else. They're really great, so you want to go check those out and grab them. I also want to remind you about our We Collaborate, which when you look over there, Jen will throw a link in for We Collaborate. That's where you're going to find our monthly featured designer. Every month that gets updated, and our featured product that we have. And this month is this beautiful little tote, Notions bag. It's called a mini tote from Megan Makes Do. And it's this beautiful pocket in here. It's got this little ring that you can put stitch markers on or different things that you want to be able to find quickly because there's a little loop. It has a flat bottom, so it sits up and is not going to fall over. It's a really nice zipper, and it's these custom colors for us, just for us. So you're not going to be able to find this anywhere else. And we're down to like under 20 guys. So if you were looking to grab one of these, you're going to want to get them now because these are not coming back. It was an exclusive thing that we did, and Megan is not going to be using these colors. She gave them to us, and so this is the only time you're going to see them. So go ahead and grab that too if you want. I wanted to also share with you, in case you noticed, the Sydney shawl here is well underway. You can still join up and grab the pattern. You'll be able to see all of the past weeks so far. It goes for another 2 more weeks, I think, after this one. I think if I can read my calendar correctly, I think it's 2 more weeks. It's a 6-week total. It's a Tunisian crochet shawl that you're going to learn all different kinds of stitches. There's also kits for it. So when we put that link in there for the Sydney shawl, you'll be able to see the kits and the pattern, so you can go ahead and do that. Okay. I think I've talked enough. Let me just double check. Oh, Margaret, thank you. You like my earrings. So these earrings I actually made, and they are using our Curio yarn. Let me see if I can get them off. I'm going backwards here. These are made in Curio, and so it is a plastic loop in here that you use for like sewing. And then I just made a tassel around it, just like that. And I just single crocheted around the hard loop, plastic loop, until it filled it up. And then I just put some extra over the top to make some tassels. And I put a kidney ear wire right on there to give it a little bit of an extra length. So thank you very much. I made them. And it's always fun to get to say, oh, I made that, when somebody says they like it, whether it's earrings or your outfit or whatever else. So okay. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Joy. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Chris. It is great to see you all. I'm glad you're here. We're going to bring in our special guest because I know you're all waiting to chat with her. I know I am waiting to chat with her. So let's bring her on in. Our guest today is our featured designer for the month, which is Michelle Moore. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
It is so great to have you here. We love having you here and chatting with you. You were here not too long ago talking about the crochet along with Brianna and Hannah. We will put a link in for that. That is still going on. Tell us how much longer that's going on.
That goes on until the 26th of October. So that is the last day to buy the collection, where you get all of the designs for an amazing price and the option to buy the child sizes as well. which is only an additional $8, and you get all 3 child patterns. So we have that available to the 26th. Now the crochet along is ongoing in the group. So I know cardigans can take people a little bit longer to make. So we're going to continue to support everyone in our groups as they continue to make their cardigans, but only the collection is only available until the 26th.
Awesome. So we will put a link in there. The name of the website, I just lost it on my screen, is Easy Crochet Along, right?
Yeah,
there it is.
easycrochetalong.com.
Real easy to remember.
And
Go over there.
Like, people are posting pictures of their finished cardigans already, so it's kind of exciting. This is always when we get into the crochet along a little bit and you start seeing like the progress and the finished product. So it's really fun now. So yeah, if you haven't joined, you still can come and join us. And we're going to show you how, like, 3 different constructions on making cardigans. So it's a great beginner introduction to cardigan crochet along.
Yeah, and if you don't know, I love that you guys use the Brava tweed because it's still an acrylic yarn. It's very affordable. It's a great beginner yarn, but it kind of steps up a notch with the tweed in it. It makes it look really sophisticated. So I am so excited to be seeing all of those projects. Okay. I have to bring up this comment before we even get started. Lee said, I love her. Speaking about you, Michelle, definitely not me. I've been addicted to her Christmas tree skirt pattern. I've made 6 so far.
Wow, that's amazing.
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to share.
I'm starting to work on all new Christmas things for this year, so I'm really excited, but I can't share any of that yet. But I've got new stuff coming out this year, so.
Oh, very, very exciting. Oh, Hannah's here. Yeah, Christmas is going to be, I saw somebody posted, what, it's like 10 weeks until Christmas. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, how did that happen?
I know, I cannot believe how fast October has gone by. Like, we're already to the 19th. Like, fall just flies by.
It is crazy. That is one of my questions actually for you. So we'll just jump into that one. So when it comes to making for holiday gifts or just gifts in general, do you have a go-to pattern that you like to do, or do you suggest one, like a category that people make? I mean, I know as we get closer to Christmas, especially, or towards whatever date you're giving your gift, you kind of have to go to smaller projects, maybe chunkier yarns. But kind of what is your staple when you're making something for somebody?
Oh, well, I mean, fall, I make all the pumpkins. I'm sure you've seen all of my pumpkins, Katelyn, right? Like, I do tons and tons of pumpkins. And I love them so much. I'd like to keep them out all year round. Like, pumpkins are just amazing. But also hats. Hats are too. Like, and I did the Hello Pumpkin Mosaic hat this year. And I used it comfy, and I thought comfy is perfect for babies and little ones because of the cotton, and it's got that little bit of acrylic in it. So it makes it a little bit more durable, and it's so soft. So I went right down to newborn sizes with this hat pattern because everybody loves, like, all my nieces and nephews, like, it starts getting cooler and they all need like new hats for the season because their heads are grown from last year. So yeah, so hats and pumpkins are my definitely. And then once we get into Christmas, it's like all of the trees, all the little trees, stockings, ornaments.
You know, I have to say, I mean, I haven't crocheted a ton of pumpkins, but I do watch like your videos and stuff. And I'm always amazed at how the pumpkins that you show basically start as like a rectangle. You seam them together, you cinch up the ends, and then you make it look so beautiful, just with a little bit of cinching and things like that. And to me, that's so easy. Like, it's easy to make a rectangle and then just seam it all together to kind of get that shape that you're looking for.
Exactly. They're so beginner friendly, which is what people love. So if you're new to crochet, and people love these as gifts, they do amazing at markets, like, and people just love them. And I'm always making new ones every year, and I can't help myself but do a new pattern. But I refreshed an old one this year as well. So I added multiple sizes to it. Plus I couldn't resist but do
stacking ones.
Yeah, I did the stacking ones, and then once I did the stacking ones, I like had to redo my old pattern and add all the sizes so they could stack the old pattern. So one pattern's in worsted weight, one pattern's in bulky weight, and they have a little bit different rib stitch, but they're still both super, super easy. And then I did a pumpkin pillow because I
Why
wanted
not?
because I wanted one. So I did a pumpkin pillow too.
Yeah. I like too how with the pumpkins, when people put in the cinnamon sticks as the
Mhm.
stem for it, because then it gives it like this really great smell and you can
Yeah.
put it out in the house and it smells good. I love that so much. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So let me go back to my first question. I know this question you probably get asked a lot, but just in case people don't know, can you tell us a little bit how you got started in crochet and kind of how that transitioned into you being a designer?
Okay, so I started crocheting when it was probably only about 10 years ago now, when my youngest was about 18 months, but my daughter actually got involved in a knitting and crocheting club at school. So that's what kind of got me into I wanted to learn how to crochet, and I had never like I hadn't even seen somebody crochet before. That's how that's how green I was. I had never even watched someone crochet. I knew my grandmas could crochet, but I had never seen them do it. Only knit. I've only ever watched them knit. So I went and bought a CD-ROM from Walmart. So this is how kind of back when you could still buy that stuff. So I bought a CD-ROM. I learned the stitches. I started watching YouTube and I just got addicted to it. And probably a lot can relate. It's like you get into it and it's so fun and so exciting. So then I started making hats for my girls and my son. And then I got asked if I could supply a store in my local town because everyone was starting to buy these hats from me that I was making. It really just kind of snowballed rather quickly. So I
Yeah.
started selling in a store and just filling like custom orders. So that's kind of how I started out. Because I was staying home at the time, I was doing some home daycare. I had the time on my hands.
Right.
So I started basically, I really went almost full time into like supplying the store and doing custom orders. And I was always just making up my own stuff. Like I just kind of like I did research on head sizes and blah blah blah. I would just research whatever and I was just designing my own patterns, but I wasn't selling patterns because I was so new to
Right.
it. I didn't even really know how to go about that at the
It's
beginning.
interesting, like, to start as making the things and then going into the designer. So when you were stocking the store, was it just hats you were making, or were you making other things as well?
It was mainly hats, some little baby things and leg warmers and like the odd boot cuffs were kind of big back then, but
Yeah.
it was mainly hats. And she would sell out of these, like it was crazy. Like she would just sell out of them constantly. So I got really into learning how to do things quick. So that's when I got,
Mhm.
and bulky weight yarns weren't as popular back then. Like when I first started,
Right.
they were they weren't as available. So I would double strand a lot. Like I would just take
Yeah.
two strands. And so there wasn't even a lot of those bulky patterns. So I started designing a lot of my own because I wanted to make something in like a half an hour, roughly. Like I would not generally make anything that took me more than 2 hours because of, when you're thinking of selling product, how fast can you make it so that you're actually making money, right? So that was
Right.
my whole idea behind that. And then a few years into that, I started getting asked more and more for my patterns. I started just kind of becoming more popular just on Facebook, people asking. So I kept getting like, do you have the pattern? Do you have the pattern? And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was really nervous to do that. But I started into making the mermaid and the shark, which went viral. But
Mhm.
those were my first patterns because I thought I don't want to keep making, even though I designed them so that they would work up in like 3 to 4 hours. I thought I just didn't have the time to be making
Right.
multiples of those things. So I thought these will be perfect to put these patterns out. And then they went viral. So then that kind of just took off my designing career because I thought this is where I need to focus my time and
Right.
energy on designing and getting my patterns written out and learning how to be a better designer. So
Mhm. Well, we're
yeah.
happy that it went that direction because we've been enjoying everything that you've been making. And yeah, hats are really great because, too, when you think about like a cardigan or something, you have to know the person's size or the way that they like things to fit. And a hat is a lot more forgiving because you can kind of say, oh, you're a child, you're an adult, or you're a
Mhm.
teen and you can kind of guess a little bit. There's a lot more stretch to it and things like that. So it does make it a lot easier to be a gift, which is perfect if you are making for markets or selling to a store, that those are going to be great gifts or things for people
Yeah.
to make if that's what they want to do. So
Mhm.
now I know when you design, you are posting pictures of your finished design, just like everybody does, to get us all excited. And a lot of times you're using your kids as your models. And
Mhm.
have you passed the love of crochet onto them, or are they just enjoying getting the projects? Because I know like your daughters will take your sweaters and things like that.
Oh yeah, they love them. My oldest daughter, she loves crocheting, and this last year she's really got into it a lot more. So I'm hoping after the wed, because my daughter's getting married this weekend, so I'm very busy. But she wants to start working with me, so I'm
Oh, that's
really
awesome.
excited. Yeah, I'm really excited. So let's just like fingers crossed that it works out and mother daughter can work together without like you know.
Well, maybe it'll be better because she won't be living in the house, so that'll be one less stressor. So it's just a working
Yeah,
relationship instead of a living and working
yeah.
relationship.
Well, I've gotten, and I mean, my kids, they all do help me and support me with the business and do whatever they can. My dad, my husband, like everybody's kind of, we're all sort of team players in this because it's amazing how much work behind the scenes it takes to run a business. So I really am to the point now where I could use like a full-time assistant.
Yeah,
So I'm really hoping that I can get Emma trained, and she's wanting to crochet too. So maybe she can make more samples for me down the road and
that
I
would
can
be
have
awesome.
that extra help. So, and
Yeah,
Bethany, my next daughter, she can crochet as well, but she's just not, she doesn't have the time basically. She's so busy.
yeah,
Yeah. But maybe like down the road when she gets a little bit more time, and she's done high school and all of her other endeavors, like
right,
she can focus a little more on it.
right. And plus, if Emma starts helping you, then you'll get to keep more of your sweaters and she can make her own sweaters to be wearing.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm excited to see, and I'm hoping to have the help because it has gotten to the point now with my business that I feel like I'm just working all the time because there's so much
Right.
behind the scenes besides just the designs to keep everything rolling.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really crazy how much has to go into it, and the photography, and the planning, and the
Yeah.
promoting, and it's a
Yeah.
lot, and people don't see that side of the
Yes, I
business
know.
and everything. There is a comment here from Shirley. She is obsessed with your mosaic hat pattern, Michelle. Absolutely love it. We
Mm.
love it too. I love everything mosaic that you put out. I know we have a couple blankets and pillows over on the WeCrochet website. You've got the new hat you just showed, the cardigan you're
Yeah.
wearing, we'll
So
talk about
fun.
in a minute, but the mosaic is totally great. I love it, love it, love
Yeah,
it.
once I learned, I wish I had learned mosaic crochet years ago because this, if you have not done mosaic crochet, you need to learn it. I've never been a huge fan of carrying my yarn like
Yes.
around and changing color, and I'm a little impatient for that. Where mosaic crochet, like especially working in the round, it's amazing because you just pick up those tails. Each round is worked in one color. You're doing drop
Mhm.
down double crochets to make the pattern. It's so quick and easy, and it's so beautiful. Like I just,
Yes.
and then
I,
the cardigan technique is the inset mosaic crochet technique. So
mhm.
there's no tails on this either. So you can make these beautiful patterns. It's so much easier than you think, and there's no tails for each row. So
Yeah.
it's
So Margaret says that she is definitely making your pumpkin cardigan, but she sees it in tweed. So I don't know what color tweed she's going to do, but that's going to look beautiful.
It would be
Um,
amazing. Yeah, it would be amazing. There's so many, even like after I make one, I think, oh, but then this would look cool. Or
yeah.
like, can you imagine this in like one of those yarns that change color? Like, so you have like a solid and then with like a very
Ooh,
like changing color, it would be
yeah.
so pretty. Yeah.
That would
I
be
always think
so
after,
pretty.
but I only have so much time. But see, now if I can get Emma making like extras for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make it in this
Um,
color, do it in this color.
Yeah, I'm going to be making the pumpkin cardigan. I'm doing the cream color like you did, but instead
Yeah.
of the copper color, I went with the peony, which is like a pink color. So I'm super excited to see how that one turns out with the two colors. I didn't want to do too much of a contrast with mine. I wanted it to be a little softer, so we'll see how it turns
Yeah.
out, but I'm
Yeah,
super
I can't wait.
excited.
I can't wait to see it. And you will just love the technique. And this repeat is really simple too. So it's like really easy to memorize when you're working it. So it's, it's like, you've got your chart, but it's really easy to memorize it as you go.
Wait, I didn't look at the construction of it yet because I'm finishing up another project as always and then starting on it. But so is it kind of the same construction? One of the things I love about your garments that you do, or especially cardigans, well, and pullovers, because I made your gumdrop
The
lollipop. I forget
gumdrop,
what it's called.
the
But
one
anyway,
piece. It
what?
is one piece. It is
Yeah,
all in one piece like that. It's one piece flat. So it's worked from the back, and then we make the sleeves so that we have no join, because again, like I don't necessarily like that join, and with this
right.
pattern I didn't want to mess it up. And so then it goes to the front panels, and then you just have to seam your sleeves and your side.
I know.
And
I love it so much.
I created the chart for the entire, so when you get your pattern, you'll see that the chart, I've basically shown you from the back all the way to the front, the entire mosaic chart. So if you want to even just like follow to see, because each
Oh, nice.
size is a little bit different. That's how I've designed it. So because I wanted all of them to line up perfectly on the side. So I've got the chart and it's marked with all the sizes, and
Yeah.
but the construction is really, really simple. Once you get going, um, it's amazing.
I love this comment from Margaret. It doesn't fit in my head that there's no tails, but that itself makes it more appealing to make. So I need to learn that trick in Mosaic.
Yes,
So
you need to
true.
learn it. Yeah, so you work 2 rows in one color so that you can carry your tail like up the side and you hide it. So I have a
Perfect.
video showing exactly how to read the chart and how that technique is worked so that those tails just get hidden. So you work one way and then come back so they're all on that right, all the tails are on the right hand side and you just carry them along.
Awesome. So Kayla says, I love the flat construction, but it can be tough to find enough blocking boards. So I want to get your opinion because when I do it, I tend to seam everything up and then I block. So I'm still only doing like, even if I were piecing it, it's only one. Is that how we should be doing it? Or do you block everything out real big and then seam
I like
it?
to block everything out, but what I do is I go to Walmart. You can get those big floor mats, the foam
Mm,
floor mats. So I have a big collection of them and my collection just keeps growing. They're very inexpensive though to get those. So then I just lay them out on my floor up here. So I have enough that I can do like a long cardigan now or even a
okay.
big blanket. Because sometimes like with mosaic, especially like even like a mosaic blanket, sometimes you need to block it because you get a little bit of a curve.
Right.
You can sometimes get a bit of a curve. So I just go to, you get 4 in a package for, I don't know, $15. Like it's not a lot. And then you just get a couple packages and then you have enough blocking mats that you can.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We should also say that the sweater that we're talking about, we did put a link in so you can get it, and a link to all of her patterns that we have on our site. And the hat are both done in comfy worsted. And if you're thinking about getting the pattern and making along, you want to grab your comfy now because it's 20% off until the end of the month. So Michelle, being our featured designer, we gave her the heads up that that was going to be our featured yarn. And so she went and she made a project just for that yarn so that we could share with you guys and let you in on the little sale. So thank you so much for that. We love it so much, and we hope everybody can jump in. Sally wants to know, what department are the foam floor mats in?
Oh, you know what? They just rearranged our entire Walmart. But they used to be kind of like with the home, like carpets, like kind of in that carpet pillow section. I don't know if they've switched it now because they've rearranged everything. They just renovated our Walmart. But I also tend to link it. Like you can search for them. Like if you go to walmart.com or .ca if you're in US or Canada, and they're online too. I try to link them now in most of the patterns because they're the ones I use just because when you're doing cardigans. Now I like the smaller ones with the grid on it for smaller projects, but for the cardigans I tend to just use those big ones.
Right. Okay. All right. Before I get to the question here from Yarn Elf Maria, I do want to tell everybody we are going to do a little bit of a this or that in just a minute or two. So if you have any questions that you want to this or that with Michelle, go ahead and put them in the comments and then we'll do that. So Maria is saying, would this cardigan, talking about the pumpkin, the Hello Pumpkin one, work
Okay.
up nice in a wool also, like Swish or wool of the Andes?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for
So
sure.
do we have any problems with, is there a benefit to, so I know sometimes with color work, it's going to depend on kind of like your twist and the fiber content to really make it pop and stick out. Are there any suggestions generally around Mosaic of what to lean towards, stay away from, or have you kind of found that all yarns work well for Mosaic?
Honestly, I found them all to work really well. Like I wasn't even for sure how this was going to be, but it turned out amazing. I would love it in Swish worsted because it's so soft, and
Yeah,
it's going to gauge very similar to this. But I've done a lot of the Mosaic blankets in acrylic, and they've turned out beautiful. Like
awesome.
I just find this is a little bit lighter. Like I don't know. Like I just a Swish worsted would be a lighter worsted, so I think
Mhm.
um it wouldn't be too heavy.
Yeah.
So
The
it would
sweater
be
that I'm wearing is swish worsted and I love it so much. It's so soft, it's nice and
yeah.
warm. I mean, the comfy is also great too. I have a couple cardigans in comfy and it's just as warm. I know people go, "Oh, well, there's cotton in it. That's not a good like fall
It
and winter." It
works.
really is.
And it reminds me almost like a like I don't know, it's not super stiff. Like it still has
Right.
a nice, drape and everything, but almost reminds me a bit of a jacket, like a
Yeah.
jacket feel, which I wanted for the fall. And I didn't want like if it was like a warmer day, I thought the cotton would be like it wouldn't be like too like wool like you can get really warm. So I thought it was
Mhm.
a nice kind of in between, like perfect for fall. That was kind of the plan, right? That perfect fall kind of sweater jacket that you can wear to the pumpkin patch and,
Yeah.
just all the fun fall things. And it's soft and comfortable. Yeah, I love it. But the Swish worsted, I think would be amazing for it too.
Perfect. Okay, so I have one more question for you before we get into our this or that section. And so the last question is, we are getting close to Christmas. We are getting close to holidays. So what is
Yeah.
the best gift that you have received that was either yarn related, crochet related, or just craft related in general? What's the best one you got?
I don't know if I've ever been given. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I have. Erin's grandma Moore used to make. She would always knit something. She's passed away now, so this was like a little bit back, but she always did. And I have a couple favorites, but she did all of us girls one year, like the granny square Afghans. And like this was long before I knew anything about crochet. I cherish this blanket. It's like absolutely amazing. And I just
Yeah.
wish like I didn't start crocheting while she was still alive. So I wish that we could bond over
Right.
it. But she also did socks one year for all of us, and that was amazing. Like all knitted. It wasn't crocheted, they were knitted socks. But we have like a picture of like all of us like lined up with like our socks like sticking out,
Nice.
and it was just we looked forward to it every
Right.
single year. We miss that now, but that
Yeah.
was one thing. It was just I don't know, it was so special because it was like we
Right.
always wondered like what's she gonna make, because it was a big secret. What's she gonna make this year? Like what are we gonna get? She did ornaments one year too, and that was a lot of fun. We all got
Oh, so cool.
girls got ornaments for their Christmas trees, and
Nice.
yeah.
I love it. Okay, there is one more question before we go move on. Jessica would like to know, can we purchase the cowl, going back to the Brava Tweed cowl that's going
Okay.
on, even after this month? Because I just got a job and would love to buy it. So
Okay.
you said
You
about,
can
go ahead.
Yeah, you can buy the individual patterns. You won't be able to get the collection after the 26th. So that includes Hannah's design, my design, and Brianna's, but you can buy the individual patterns after. So you may just want to go and pick which one you want to make. So if you want to make mine or Brianna's or Hannah's, just go pick the one,
Right.
where up until the 26th, you can get them like all together. So,
Nice. Oh, Dawn just said, I make amigurumi critters for Christmas bingo for everybody. That
oh,
sounds like so much fun. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. So we're going to play a little bit of a this or that. So everybody can join in and answer this or that as we kind of play along here. They're simple, they're easy, you know. But anyway, so this or that. Would you prefer fingering weight yarn or worsted weight yarn?
Am I supposed to answer that now?
Yes, you
For
answer.
me?
Yes.
Like, how can you make me pick? Probably worsted. I think I can make more things with worsted, but
Yeah.
I love fingering weight for garments now, but
I
I'll say,
know.
yeah.
I was one of those people who were like, no, I'm never doing fingering weight. I'm never going smaller than a worsted. Like, that's just not crochet. You just don't do that. Oh my gosh, I made a couple fingering weight projects. And yes, it takes a little bit longer sometimes, depending on your stitch pattern. But
Mhm.
holy smokes, what an opening it makes in what you can make in crochet and how it looks and how it drapes and
Yeah,
everything else.
it's
Um,
amazing. I did the color block top down pullover in
mhm.
palette fingering weight, and it is like the lightest. It's so amazing. And so many people now, I think I've converted them that have made it. They're like, they had no
Yeah,
idea, right? Until you make, it's like, oh wow, a crochet sweater can feel like this and
right.
drape like this. Yeah, it was amazing. And it was fast because I did it in double crochet.
Yeah, and that pattern is also on the website. So the link that Jen had put before for all of Michelle's patterns, you can find it there. It's a cream color and then two browns, correct?
Yeah, it's a brindle and I think asphalt heather, the
Okay,
gray, the dark charcoal
dark
gray.
gray. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember. I knew it was something like that. But so yeah, you can go
Oh,
and grab that pattern too if you want to make
it's
along.
and even the waffle stitch, like you can wiggle, you wiggle it like it just because a waffle
Yeah,
stitch, if you use a heavy yarn, like it's gonna be like really thick and dense. But in the fingering weight, it's just amazing. Like it just
right.
has amazing drape and flexibility. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
I
I
mean, it
love.
was time consuming. The waffle stitch one
Yeah,
was a time consuming project, but it turned out so amazing in the
it's
fingering weight.
gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Yeah. Kathy said, I love your dishylicious bag pattern. That is so great. Everybody seems to really love that one. Again, another perfect gift. You could put a gift inside of it and then gift the bag. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Um,
My daughter Emma's obsessed with market bags.
yeah.
She loves making market bags. That's her thing.
Okay. So if you're selfishly making for yourself instead of like designing or giving away, do you prefer to make hats or cardigans for yourself?
Cardigans.
Cardigans. I would agree. I'm not a big hat wearer, and I love, like, a good cardigan or a pullover. I don't know. They're just so great,
I
so
mean, I love my hats. I mean, you know that I always have probably like several every season I come out with.
yeah,
But like if I'm gonna make something for myself, for sure it's gonna be cardigan because I'm always looking at fashion. I'm like, I can make that. I can make that. I
right,
can make
right.
yeah. Why buy
Okay,
it when I can make it and spend double, right?
yeah, always. That's so true. Okay, so if you are learning something new, whether it be crochet, in knitting, or any other craft, do you prefer video tutorials, or do you like it like a photo tutorial and written out? What's your personal learning preference?
Video, always video. That's why I'm such a big advocate for video tutorials because that's totally how I learned. It was through watching a CD-ROM and then going to YouTube, and I'm just a visual learner. That's how I learn.
Yeah, and we love that you do all the video tutorials. They are so great. It just makes it so clear as exactly where you put your hook, exactly what you're supposed to be doing when you can watch what's happening. So we
Yeah.
love that. So, okay, the last question, this or that. Well, it's not maybe not. Are you a knife hold or a pencil hold?
I don't
Or do you do both?
I don't know. I guess I'd be more of a knife. I'm a knife. Yeah,
A
I'm a
knife?
knife.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
that's
like
what I
holding my
do.
hook to see
I
what I
know.
do. Yeah, as a knife for sure. Yeah, definitely not pencil. I'd
No,
be a
I don't
mess.
know how people do that. I like try and I'm like, I can't figure this one out.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. As a reminder, the cardigan that Michelle is wearing is the Hello Pumpkin Mosaic cardigan. You can get that and a bunch of her other patterns over on our We Crochet website or crochet.com. We've put the link in there. I saw Jen even put the link in for the Rocky Mountain color block pullover that we were just talking about. Don't forget, comfy in all three, the Comfy Worsted, Comfy Fingering, and Comfy Color Mist are all 20% off for the month of October. So you can go ahead and grab the yarn at a discounted price to go ahead and make some of those great patterns that we've been talking about. And yeah, be sure to go and check out Michelle. We're going to put in her link to her blog as well. And when you go over to the blog, you'll be able to find a link to Facebook, to YouTube, to Instagram, to TikTok, to, is that all of them? I don't even know. Maybe Pinterest.
I
You can
know,
find
right? So
everything you
many.
need.
Yeah.
They're all there. So you can go ahead and you can follow along, and you want to subscribe to her YouTube channel as well as ours, but definitely to Michelle's, because she's going to teach you how to do all kinds of stitches and projects over there that you're going to love so much. So thank you, Michelle, for joining us. We so appreciate your time and just sharing a little bit about yourself and what you've been working on. And don't forget to follow Michelle for Christmas time, because she already teased there's a lot of stuff coming. So we got to find out what it is.
I'm
All right.
excited.
Well, yeah. We'll see you all next week. We'll be back here again. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, and hopefully you'll get some time for some stitching in. Bye.
Bye, everyone.